jotted down the number that was on there, and I called the church secretary here. I don't know, it was about 12 years ago, I think, and I asked if they did any trips down here. I always wanted to do some work in a third world country, and they didn't. And she referred me to the Norwich Mission House, and I got involved with a trip with them, and they had a little. We were just about to go on a trip with them, and they had a little revolution break out down there, and broke up some of the vans and whatnot. So the trip got canceled at the last minute, and someone spoke in my mother's church about 2 weeks later for the clinic up in Norwich, the Haitian Health Foundation, and they were doing a trip down there. So I jumped on a trip with them, and I went down for 2 weeks to Jeremy, Haiti, and I spent 2 weeks down there doing some construction work. Later on in 2008, I decided to spend a year down there, and that's where I met Junior. And I just worked as a carpenter for the clinic down there. And I was a carpenter for the clinic, and Junior was a translator. He was translating for groups coming down to the clinic and the United Nations, and all different types of groups of people that were visiting in town. And that's where we got to know each other. He was my neighbor, lived up the street from me. And he was a really good guy, and he just, he had about the hardest worker I think I've ever met. He didn't speak too much English until, I don't know, later on, but he would stay up till 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, studying and learning English and Spanish and French and all the languages that he was speaking down there. So I was just very impressed at how he really worked his butt off to, in order to get out of Haiti to come to the United States to get an education, he had to go to the embassies and passports and visas and everything like this. And it's a lot of work to do what he did to come here to be able to go to college. So he's in college in Pennsylvania now, and that's it. I'll hand it over to him, but thank you very much for coming.
Good evening, everyone. It's such a great pleasure for me to be here today. First of all, my presentation is going to divide into 3 parts. The first part is where I'm going to use a few pictures to relate to as I talk about the things that I want to talk about. And then the second part will be about me coming to America, what it took me to be here today. And then the third part, I hope it will be a time for you to ask me questions, and I'll be happy to help you and answer all the questions that you'll be having for me. For a moment, I'm going to prepare the computer, and hopefully it's going to work. Bill? Yes? Oh, okay. I was going to say, please feel free to introduce yourself to the person next to you, just so we would kill some time.
What's your name?
All right. Okay. As Steve says, I'm Junior Bernard, and I'm from Haiti. I was born and raised in a city called Jeremy. Jeremy is about 12 hours drive from Port-au-Prince. And if you want to fly to Jeremy, you would have to, it only takes about 45 minutes to fly. But if you take the bus, it takes about 12 hours to get to Jeremy, which is a lot, because the roads are just so bad. Okay, this is the map of Haiti, and as you can see, this is Port-au-Prince. You all can see Port-au-Prince. And Jeremy is the one at the very corner. That's where I live. I was born and raised in Jeremy. And for you to come to Jeremy, that's how long it takes from Port-au-Prince to come here. And okay, Haiti, this is the palace of Haiti, and before the earthquakes, that is how nice it was, and everything was great. And as you know, we are a population of 9.1 million people in Haiti. And now, this is what it looks like after the earthquakes. If you go to Haiti right now, you will see the same thing looks just like that. You wish at least they would try to clean it and build something new, but it still looks the same. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's because we don't have enough money for the president to do something about it, but so far we don't really have too much going on. And in the past May, we just had our new president. His name is Michel Martelly. He used to be a singer back in Haiti, and now he's our president. He's one of the people that support education a lot. He has all these things that he would like to do that have to do with education. He's hoping that if we can send as many children as possible to school, then that will help our nation to do better. As you know, there is not much you can do without education. Even these days, without education, you can't get a job. It's just hard everywhere. And that's one of his plans. I do hope that things work out the way he's hoping for us. And as we talk about that, I also would like to speak a little bit about what it means for us to have education. A lot of times, it is very hard for a lot of the families to send their children to school. A lot of us, we can't even pay, we can't even eat like at home. So if you think about it, whatever job you do, you can't get enough money to support your family with food. So what about school? How would you get money to send those children to school and learn? And with that, a lot of the families, a lot of the fathers, they would leave the house or they just forget about their families at all, just so they can try to stay away of all the things they have to take care of as a family. And we just have all these things going on in the country with not getting jobs, we can't find any jobs. The people that are blessed enough to have jobs and they just have so much to take care of. Not only they have their own families to support, but they also have other side of their families, like your brothers, your sisters, younger people. We have all these people to take care of. And also, this is a school in the mountain in my hometown. And as you can see, when it rains, you have the water that goes all over the place. And no matter what, you have to do something about it. You have to be in the school. And these children always do their best to come to school, because even though the country, even though we don't have money, but one thing Haitian families believe is that education is the key. Always do your best to go to school. Those people, they will do anything they can to send their children to school. And unfortunately, it doesn't always work out for the families, for every family. Okay, like I was saying, a lot of our children, they don't go to school. Like this child, I took this picture myself. I was on my way to the mountain, and as you can see, all she does is like working with her parents. She would go in the garden, help their parents clean and do all these things, and then they would put their food. She has on that horse sugar cane. They would pack up all these sugar canes so to sell it in the city. And it's really sad to see all these young people in some of the countries. Okay, what if we say in America? Children, the parents always try their best to send them to school. At least people find a job and they do what they can. But those people, once they can't support their children, they don't do anything about it. You're in the house, you have your parents. Once you get older, you get married and live the same life. They never know education. That's why not having education always takes a whole new direction, which is to, for example, if I'm a young man, I have no education and I'm not doing anything, and I have to survive. Am I going to sit there and wait for things to change? No, you wouldn't do it this way. A lot of these people, they would get up, either they would rob whatever that is not theirs, or they would do something horrible. That's why in the past couple of years, you would hear in Haiti, we had a lot of killings and people were doing horrible things. People do anything they can for food or for money because things are just hard. Okay, when we go to school in Haiti, like I was saying, because it's not easy at all to go to school, the people that have an opportunity to go to school, they would do anything to not fail in class. When I was in Haiti, that is one of the things I used to do. We would get up in the middle of the night at like 4 o'clock in the middle of the night to study, because you have to study. These people would get up very early in the middle of the night. I'm sure, Steve, you're familiar with what I'm saying now. And then that's when we had an opportunity, because in the city, we didn't always have electricity. Since we had no electricity, that means we couldn't study at night. Therefore, people would get up in the middle of the night and do their best to study. All of them would gather together and learn. Okay, that is a Haitian family. I just have this picture here just so I would show you what it looks like, the Haitian family. Unfortunately, it's a little dark, so you can't really see. But I'm trying to make sure I speak about the things that I really have to, so I don't take all the time and that we can get to do the things we want to. Okay, these are some children that you see. These are like those children, they don't go to school. All they do is just having fun. They're young, they don't understand what it means to have a dream or to go to school. They're just having fun, always playing. If you go by the beach, you will see a lot of children doing the same things, playing around, doing nothing. And unfortunately, that's the way it is. And you just can't do anything about it unless you go there and support them. That's the only way for anyone. Okay, my topic for now is how did I end up in America? I have two things that really inspired me to have a goal in life. One of them was that when I was growing up, at that age, I was 16, most of the things I saw around me was that a lot of the young people my age, like the young girls, they started to get pregnant. And once they get pregnant, the boys, what would they do? The parents would always encourage those children to, if now you have your daughter, I'm already poor myself, I can't support myself, how am I going to take care of you and your son or your daughter? Now that you have a baby, then you have to do your best to get married because I really can't support you anymore. A lot of the parents would say that to their kids, and those people, they would end up getting married, and you know, once they get married, being in school or not, you would have to leave school and try to find a job or something to support yourself. And then a lot of the young people were just getting lost in life, and the ones that weren't in school because they had a baby, the other people would just be drinking or smoking. There would always be something so horrible that would make people go towards a whole new direction. And then that was one of the reasons that really inspired me to have a goal in life. The second one was that my brother was a kid, he was very smart, I would say. As we were growing up, my father always said to us, education is one of the fewest keys to become successful in life, if you want to be successful. With that in mind, he would always take us to work with him. His job was to fix radios, TVs, videos, all these electronic devices. And then he would say to us, I want to help you learn this. In case I can't support your education, then you can help yourself. And he would take me and my brother to work. We started off doing well, like learning. My brother was so good at learning how to fix all these things. But as for me, I just wasn't good at it. I didn't enjoy learning these things. And then I ended up saying to my dad, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore because I just can't learn it, Dad. I don't understand how this little wire came from one spot to another. It gave me a headache. I said, I don't want to learn it because I'm just not getting it. And I gave up. My brother kept going with my dad. A few months later, my brother started off learning how to fix radios. From fixing small radios, he went on fixing DVDs, computers, all these things. People were always coming to the house asking my brother to fix things for him. But me, no one would ask me to do anything because I didn't know how to do anything. There was a time he came in the house and then he said, Junior, look at me. I'm very important now. People need me, I'm making money, I'm doing this and that. What about you? What do you want to do with your life? That alone hurt me a lot to hear him say that. And I said, yeah, I know what you're saying, but don't worry, before you know it, I'll teach you a lesson. I just said that just trying to prove him that I can do something, but that stayed in my mind and I had to do something about it. The summer 2006, I said to myself, you know what, since my brother is making money, I want to make money too. I want to show him that I'm not useless. I can do something with my life. And then I said, okay, I'm going to work for this summer so that I can make money. But when I thought about it, I said, wait a minute. If in a country, people with responsibilities are not getting any jobs, what about me, who's just a little boy? Who will give me a job? And then I got stuck with the idea right there. But the reason why I wanted to learn to work was that people always say, for American people, time is money. Is that right? Yeah. Raise your hand if that's right. I want to see how many people think it's the same. Okay, they say time is money. I said to myself, I wanted to apply that in my life, but because I couldn't get any job, I said I had to change the concept in this way. From saying time is money, I said to myself that time is knowledge. Therefore, I wanted to use my time to get knowledge because if you think about it, excuse me, I'm already dark myself. Maybe we should turn on the light since I'm not using that. Would that work? Because I'm sure you would want to see my face more, right? Yeah, that should help. Right, good. I feel better too. Yes, and my father always said, what I was saying was that, yes, and I said I'm going to learn English, and then I started to study that dictionary. I kept studying it over and over again. And I would get up in the middle of the night. When I couldn't fall asleep, I would get up and study. Somehow, I came to a point where I needed to practice my English because, you know, learning a language is great, but there is not much you can do if you can't practice it. And I met a friend, his name was Jamari, and my friend told me, I know how you can practice your English. I know a team that always comes from the US every 3 months. Every time they come, I will make sure you can practice with them. And I was so happy that he told me the idea. And for me to practice English, I would follow those Americans wherever they go. Because every morning, they would come to Haiti for about 1 week. Every morning, they get up and walk around the city to take pictures, things like that. I would be following those people too. But one problem I always met along the way was humiliation. Because every time those people go out, there were always a lot of children following them, asking them for money. How many people have been to Haiti? Okay, I'm sure you've seen that before. Wherever you go in the streets, children would come to you saying, Mont Blanc, give me $1, give me $1. That's how they say it. And I would always be part of these children, but I would be there not to beg for the money, but I would be there just to practice my English. But a lot of times, those people would give money to the children, but after they give them money, they would say to them, now that we give you money, don't follow us anymore, which makes a lot of sense because the children can be annoying at some point. They keep asking, you give them, but they keep asking. But I kept following the people. Sometimes it would be hard for me. When my friends saw me following those people, they would say to me, hey, why are you doing that? You're like a lost puppy. Why do you keep following those people? I said, I understand you, but I'm trying to learn something right now. I have to do it. And a lot of them would make fun of me just because I kept following the people. They thought I was begging, even though I wasn't. Anyway, I kept following the people. One time, I came to have such a very hard moment for me. When I was following those people, at some point, somebody who saw me with them, he humiliated me really bad. He was working for this organization, for the organization where I used to follow the people. He saw me talking to the visitors, and then he came to me and said, hey, what are you doing here? How often do we tell you not to come in here to bother the people? He says, get out now, just like that. I was talking to this guy, we started becoming great friends, and I was so ashamed that I did not even have enough time to say bye to that friend. And I went out. The next time I saw the guy, the American I was talking to, I would say hi to him and he didn't even look at me because he ignored me because he said to himself, if the Haitian man is ignoring him, Junior who's in Haiti, what about me? I just come in the country and I don't know him. If he's not looking good before Haitians, then I don't think he's a good guy. I'm sure that's what the people had in mind, that the guy from Haiti did that to me. But anyway, after that humiliation, I was going home, I was saying to myself, God, why am I being so humiliated? All I'm trying to do is to learn English. I'm not trying to beg or anything like that. As I was going down the hill, I was crying, and then all of a sudden, something I had in myself said, don't worry about it. Someday you will be able to stand up and talk about what you've been through in life. There's a reason for all these things. And that gave me so much courage to keep going. And that same company, that same organization, I ended up becoming the interpreter of that same organization, which is where I met Steve. And it's amazing how I came from learning English with the dictionary, following those people, until I became the interpreter. And after I became the interpreter, one problem I had was that it wasn't easy at all for me to live with these people. A lot of time, I would see them coming from America. Everyone was always saying, I have a new job, or I'm going to school. Everyone had something exciting to say about themselves. But as for me, I didn't have anything to say. All I had to say was that I couldn't wait for you to come here. so that I would work with you. And I said, you know what, I have to do something about it. I would like to come to America. If I can come here, this will give me an opportunity to support my family back in Haiti, and definitely I will get a good education and things are going to be better for me. And I kept trying my best to come here and it wasn't working out for me. I even applied for a visa. Yes, I even applied for a visa and I got rejected because for you to come to America, you have to have families here. If you don't have family members, then you have to get a great job or have something. You have to show them that you have enough properties in your country that if you come here, you're not going to stay. At least you will visit and go back home. And I had nothing to prove them. I wanted to succeed so bad that I didn't want to sit and do nothing about it. I went in the Dominican Republic in hope that I would meet someone that could help me come to America. And still nothing worked out for me. I stayed there for 6 months. I spent 6 months there. It was like 6 months in hell. It was so hard for me. Every day I would get up and look for jobs, and still I found nothing. A lot of times I would go out with no food and spend an entire day eating nothing because the money I had, I said, if I eat it, then it's gonna be gone. But if I use it to go out and try to find a job, at least that will help me. The reason why I went there was that I would pay for my own education. That's what I wanted to do because my family couldn't afford to send me to school. And I stayed there after suffering, after failing over and over again. I had looked for like 60 jobs and I found none of them, not even one of them hired me. And finally, I decided to come back home. When I came back in Haiti, I had such a great experience, I would say an experience with God. It was when I came back. In church, we always have, New Year's Eve, right? In Haiti, we always have this service for New Year's Eve. And the service that we had, the pastor always have all these little verses he has in a big ball. After the service, each person would choose one of them. The verse would say anything that relates to your own life. Do you understand? It's like you take the verse, you read it. That means it is going to, that's what you should read for the rest of the year. You know, that the verse will relate to your life and read it to feel the love of God. And my verse, this is what my verse said. Okay, that's a picture of me being an interpreter after I met these people. Would anyone like to read this for me, please? I don't mind coming to you, so you can use the microphone. Thank you.
I've got a really big voice.
Oh, nice.
He raises the poor from the dust and lifts the needy from the ash heap. He seats them with the princes of their people.
Okay, thank you. Yes, as soon as I got to church, which was in 2010, I was amazed to read that. I say, what does that really mean? Is that really gonna happen? Is anything really gonna happen to me? And I kept thinking about it. Coming back from the Dominican Republic, I went back to doing translating jobs at the HHF, the Haitian Health Foundation. Has anyone ever heard of the Haitian Health Foundation? Okay, yes, I went back to working with them. As I was working with them, a team came from New Jersey. I worked with them and I had a great time working with them. And then in January, after the earthquakes, Sister Marianne, who is the person in charge, she called me and said, Junior, I would like you to come to my office because I have something to tell you. I was excited that Sister Marianne wanted to see me. I thought she had a job for me. And I went back to her office. She said to me, Junior, do you remember Billy Brown? I said, yes, I do remember him. Isn't he the man I worked with 5 months ago? And then she said, yes, Billy was the one I worked with. And then I said, is everything okay? And she said, yes, everything's okay. And then she said, actually, Billy would like to sponsor for your education. In Haiti, when you respect somebody, you always keep your head down, you don't look at them in eyes. As soon as Sister Marian said that, I was like, really? Are you kidding me? She really wants to support for my education? She says, yes, now you have to get online, get all the information you need, because soon enough you're going to come to the United States. I was like, in the United States? Are you kidding me? Because I thought Billy wanted to pay for me in Haiti, but she said in the United States. I couldn't believe it. I say, no way, this is not possible. And then she started to give me all this information that I needed in order to come here. And before she stopped talking, I said, can I leave now? Can I go home? She says, at least I thought you would be happy to hear what I have to say. Aren't you excited? I said, yes, but I gotta go. I gotta talk to my mom because I was too happy to keep hearing what she had to say. And then I went home. When I got home, I have this little goofy dance my father used to teach me when I was a little boy. I was so happy. I got home and I started to dance. I was like, I'm going to the United States. I was dancing. It's like playing the guitar with your hand. I'm like, I'm going. And then my mom came in the room. She saw me. She said, Junior, are you okay? I said, of course I'm okay, Mom. What are you talking about? And then I kept dancing. And then she looked at me. She has no idea. I was just so happy to talk about it. And I couldn't wait for that day to come. And finally, in April of 2010, I had the opportunity to come to the United States of America. I think I'm here, right? Am I? Yeah. I think I am. So I thought it was great. What I want you to understand is, when you have a dream, you have to do something about it. A lot of us, I know a lot of Haitians, we do have a lot of dreams. We would like to succeed. We always want to do the best we can to live our dreams. But if you don't take action, have faith, nothing will ever work out. And you know, it's amazing how Billy gave me the opportunity to come to America, because I was one with a lot of dreams. I have so many things I have always wanted to accomplish in my life. A lot of people I met as an interpreter, they would say they want to help me, but no one ever really did. But Billy Bar, somehow God put something on his heart, and he gave me an opportunity to live that dream, which was to come here, get an education, and support my family back in Haiti, and do even more, depending on what God has put in my heart. And what I want you to understand right now, whatever you're doing for Haiti, please remember that you're not doing it in vain. Because the world has a lot of problems. We have so much to go through. If you think about it, poverty doesn't give a chance to anyone, even children, older people, whoever you are. If you get on the TV, you will see people in Africa, in Haiti. There are people that even die just from poverty. Life doesn't give a chance to anyone. If you can stand up for yourself, if you have to die because of poverty, you will die. It's just the way things work. That's why you that have in your heart to do something for the ones that are in need, please remember that it's really a blessing. Me being in America today, this is like a dream come true to me. And my dream today, I would like that someday I can go back home and support those people. A lot of us, we always think leaving the country to come to America is the solution. I really think that's not the way it's supposed to be. You know, each person has a country, which is their country, right? I believe America, we had a lot of great soldiers, all those ancestors that worked really hard to offer to you a great life that you have today in America. The same way I believe, even for Haiti, there is hope for Haiti. One thing I came to understand about Haiti is that the country is going to change, but it's not because of the president. If you really want to change the country, for example, I myself, who was born there, I have to stand up and do something about it. I don't have to be the president of Haiti in order to change the country. And I believe my dream is to start a university in my hometown, because we need it. We have no education there. And believe it or not, it's going to work out. I would like to show you a quick picture of my family, and then I'm going to finish talking just so I can receive questions from you. By the way, this is Billy Bar. I wanted you to see him. That's when he was in Haiti with his son. Okay, that's my first day in America. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not seeing anything. Okay, would you? Okay, thank you. This is a family, this is a picture of my aunt. Unfortunately, you can't really see her face, but if you can see, the situation is really hard, like right now. We used to live in Port-au-Prince, which is the capital, and then after the earthquakes, we went to live on the mountain, on top of the mountain in Port-au-Prince, because they couldn't afford to keep living in that same area. And this is what she does for a living. This is like, as you can see, you have butter in that thing, and then all these little things. That's what she does for a living. She would use that every time the business is gone, because we can't afford to eat. They have to use the same things they sell in order to survive. And when it's over, when it's gone, then it's always a problem. But that's what I'm trying to say right now. That's her fixing her bed. Unfortunately, you can't really see the bed. But what I'm trying to say is that the situation is really hard, and it is hard. The only way to do something about it is to stand up and do something about it. I want you to understand that we really appreciate your help in Haiti. After the earthquakes, we had people that came from all over the world to come to Haiti to support us, especially America. You were one of the fewest people that we have from all over the world that came to Haiti to help us. Maybe in America today, it would not be possible without the help of other people. Now I'm here, not only I have help from my family, but if I ever need a place to stay, I always have someone that would open the door for me to receive me. And I want you to understand, anything you do for these people, it's not lost. Somehow you will see the results. As for me, one person helped me, but I have dreams to reach out to others and help other people, but it is possible because somebody did something great, which is what I'm living off today. And I thank you all very much for coming to Haiti, spend your money, all your energy. Please understand that we really appreciate it, and I represent the whole country of Haiti right now, thanking you. And I know everyone is very appreciative of all the things that you've been doing there. Thank you very much, and please, this is a time for you to ask me any questions that you have, and I would be happy to answer about anything. Thank you.
Junior, tell us about the book that you're writing.
Oh, okay. I do have the cover of the book, but I don't think we can see it that well. But I just wrote this book. It's called The Survivor. It's a book that is based on my life experiences with God, as well as all the things that I've been through in life. I almost died 3 different times, and I believe if I'm still alive today, God definitely has a plan. And that's why, me being here, I want to do the best I can to take advantage of the opportunity that I have to be getting an education in America today. Because when I'm in school, I always tell people, I have 3 girlfriends in school. The first one is a building called Veronica. That's like my office. That's where I do all the work I have to do on the computer. The second one is the media center. The media center is a place I love learning about electronic things like technology. And I'm always in there, and the gym. It's like I'm always doing something. I hang out with my friends when I have to get lunch and breakfast and dinner. Other than that, I always use my time to learn. I wrote my book last year, and I don't think if I waste the time, I would be able to write a book which will get published by the end of the summer now. And as I said that right now, time is all we have. If we don't use it before you know it, it will be gone. And that's why I want to use the time that I have here. And I'm in America for 4 years. I want them to mean something. When I go back home, I want that I can say I have accomplished something with the opportunity that has been given to me. And I'm very happy that I will have this book ready, and hopefully you'll get a chance to read it when it's published. Thank you. Any more questions?
What are you studying?
I'm studying communications and English, but the main thing is I want to do business. I would like to start an online company someday, and believe it or not, it's gonna work out. God has started a plan. Before you know it, everything's going to work out. I strongly believe that.
What was the, when you were in grammar school, what was it like learning? Was it a public education, or did your parents pay for it?
Yeah, I was getting a public education in Haiti. And at some point, and then from there, I went to a private school. And my parents had to pay for that one. Even though a lot of times they would not have the money for that. So they would borrow money from friends to send us back to school. But when we can't afford, you have to stay home until you have the money, then you can go back to school. And it was tough, but they did the best they could after struggling. Yes.
Hey, Junior, thank you for the talk. A question, do you know of others like yourself that are in this country? Have you linked together? I mean, I hate to say Facebooks or LinkedIn, but do you know of other gentlemen like yourself or women that are in this country studying?
Yes, I know 2 other people like myself. One of them lives in New York, but he's not studying. I think he's doing taxi, trying to work. And the other one, he's in school. He's studying in, I believe, Michigan, and he's doing computer science. And yeah, he's doing well, and hopefully things will work out. As you know, each person has a different dream, and I believe God doesn't put the same dream in each person. But I know for sure he's in school, he's doing his best, and that's all I can say. But we've been connected, trying to stay in touch and know what he's doing.
Have you been back to Haiti?
Yes, I always try to go back as often as possible. I was back in January for 2 weeks. Yes.
My daughter wants to know how many clothes did you have when you were little?
Clothes?
Clothes and shoes and...
Okay. I don't remember, but one thing I remember was that whenever I had a pair of shoes, I wouldn't get a new one unless it was all destroyed, that I couldn't wear it anymore. And the same thing applied for clothes. That's one thing I do remember.
And did you have toys and books or...
No, toys, no. For us to play soccer, in Haiti we love to play soccer. This is what we would do. We would take the children, that's what we would do when we want to play soccer. We would take like a condom, we would blow it with air, and then it would be like a big ball. And then we put it in a lot of bags, you know, bags like from the store. We put it in a lot of bags, and then we would take a piece of clothes, we tear it apart and make out of it a string, and then we would wrap it around it, and then that's what we use to play soccer. If you get online, you will see something like that.
I want to explain that one to
Great, yes. Yeah, that's one of the things I say. Every time a young person from America gets an opportunity to come to Haiti, I feel so great, so awesome about it, because I'm so glad that you brought your son to Haiti, because there is so much for them to learn. And it's always a blessing. You will not know what you have, the blessings that you have, unless you go to places like Haiti and learn how hard things are for people and what they have to go through to survive. It's amazing that you do that. And one of my plans next year, I would like to bring a team from my school to Haiti, and everyone is excited. I hope I have an opportunity to bring them so they can see. And I know they will learn from that. Yes.
What school are you going to?
I go to Alvernia University. It's located in Reading, Pennsylvania.
What do you think made the difference for you to become where you are right now, as opposed to a lot of your friends and the pictures of the kids playing on, you know, because I mean, you know the reality. There's more of them than there is you. What can we bottle up to help those other kids?
Oh, you mean the ones in Haiti?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
First of all, one of the things I always try to know in Haiti is that even in life in general, I love to learn from other people's mistakes. We always say, learn from your mistake, that's great. But I always say, I love to learn from other people's mistakes. If I know you did something wrong and I know what to expect, if I go there, I don't want to do it myself. I'll just say, no, thank you, thank you. I've seen what you've done, thank you. And that has helped me a lot to not only have a goal and know the directions that I should try to avoid for me to become successful. But with that idea, I would definitely encourage you to keep supporting people with education, because without education, there is not much we can do in the country. If you think about it, for you to have a job or for you to come up with creative ideas, we need education. And a lot of people end up failing in life. It's because they don't know how to handle things. And they have a lack of confidence. We have a lot of things that come up together once you don't have education. Being able to support people is amazing with education. Me being here, I wouldn't be here if I didn't have an education. I had to take my GEDs, I had to do all these things, but the fact that I wanted to do it, it worked out. And what's sad is that I know a lot of young people in Haiti, young people my age, they would love to be in my position. That's what really inspires me to do well. I said, I can't be messing up with what I have now, because I know if there are people that were in my position, they would be doing the best they can to make the most out of it. So by knowing that, I just said, well, I have to use it. I have to make it worth what I'm living today. And a lot of people, they just can't wait to do things, but it's just that we have no opportunity. But going to school is everything. That's why if you can support us, please help us. And myself, that's why I want to do business. I hope to own my own company, make enough money, and go there and do things. Unfortunately, the world doesn't work without money anymore, which is really sad. Why is it because of money I can't be happy? Why is it because of money I can't eat? If I have to die, I will die. It's really a shame for us. And that's why I said, you know what? I have to go for it. I will use my education, I will use my mind, and I know with God, like the word says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I believe that, and I want to do my best to learn and make money and do something with it. Not to die and leave all my money behind for banks, but use my money and see other people being blessed by God through me. Any more questions? Please ask me questions. I'm here for that.
How did you feel when you first came to America and it was so different from the life that you'd had there? What were those feelings that you had? What were the things you saw that amazed you?
Yes, first of all, I flew from Port-au-Prince to Miami. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I thought, of course I saw everything on TV, but when I was in the airport, in the airplane, landing, that's when I said, wow, it's really a reality. It's not just a dream. The country does exist because we see it on TV. And sure, it looks amazing, but that's when I truly believed there was truly a big, beautiful country like America. When I came here, one of the things that really impressed me was the opportunities people had. Young children, 16 years old, they have their own cars, they go places, everything is just so much easier. A lot of people in Haiti, America is like heaven to them because that's how they see it, because there is so much going on here. You feel like you're living, and there are a lot of things to look forward to in life, and it's exciting. When I was in Haiti, I used to eat like 1 or 2 different foods my entire life. A lot of times I would get tired of eating rice and beans, and that's like all you have to eat. I would get tired of eating the same food over and over again for my entire life. But when you came here, you have all these different options with food, education, and everything. This is truly a country with opportunity, and sometimes it's sad to see a lot of the young Americans I know, they don't really understand what they have. This is a country of opportunity. I wish some of the young people wouldn't, like even in college, I wish some of the young people wouldn't waste time playing just video games. Do you understand? But because there's so much we can see, we can do, and I just wish they could sing things differently. But this is great, and that's my dream for Haiti too. I hope someday, at least, if we can eat, we can go to school, and I'm sure that's what you want for Haiti too. But this is a great country, and I hope you don't take it for granted and appreciate being here and do the things that you're doing.
Yes, I think we'll do our raffle now. If there's no more questions, you can get more questions. You talk to Junior separately. We'll move the evening around. But Junior, thanks for coming here.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I really appreciate being here, and thank you very much. Thanks for helping Haiti. Thanks for helping us survive. And I just really appreciate everything. Thank you.
I didn't know.